and we are going to get started. So for the first 20 seconds of work, first 20 seconds, just take it into a bounce. Just rev up your engine, get your lymph moving, get your body going. Notice your breath coming in and out through your nose. Take it as lively as feels good, because this is like we've got a quick warm up and then we're getting right to the work. So bounce, bounce, bounce your little heart out. All right, now step your feet just a little bit wider and take some big, gigantic hip circles going in one direction. Check in here. How's your hips feeling? How are your knees feeling? How are your ankles feeling? How's your back feeling? How's your breath coming in and out through your nose? All right, now take those big hip circles and go the other way. All right, that's time. Now we're going to take it into a cross crawl with a little add-on. So you're going to cross crawl opposite hand, opposite knee, opposite hand, opposite knee, and then bend your knee, tap the side of your foot, bend your knee, tap the side of your foot. So cross crawl, and then an ankle tap, and then go for whatever pace feels good to you here. Consider it still a warm-up minute, and try to maintain breath coming in and out through your nose best you can. Now you might stick with this, or you're going to take it into a heel drop, jog it on the spot. Heel drop, jog on the spot. So if you like that little bit of bone density work, throw it in right now. Heel drop, jog on the spot. The heel drops are ugly. We get that nice impact in the body, and then we get that nice bouncy recall with the little jog. Heel drop, as many as you like, and then a little bouncy recall. You got 7 seconds left. All right, that's time. Grab your heavy hand weights. We're taking it right into a squat and a bicep curl. So for squat position, for some of us, toes and knees pointing forward, feet underneath the hips is a nice position. And then for some of us, just slightly wider with a little bit of a toe turnout is going to be good for our first stance. So we're going to go butt back, bend your knees, take it into a bicep curl, come back up. And as you go into that bicep curl, to make space for yourself, there's that little palm flip, and we want to try to keep the elbows connected to the side of the body. So keep your chest and chin lifted, squat down as deep as feels good. After you've got a good coordination of the bicep curl and the squat going on, then see if you can get that good coordination of the breath. Inhale as you sit down, exhale as you come up. And watch those elbows. Don't let them slide away from the side of the body. We want the full range of motion, bicep curl. You've got it. Nice. All right, that's time. Switch over to your lighter weights, probably most likely for most of us. It's going to be a calf raise and a front raise. And then how you choose that coordination, whether you do one and then the other, do them both at the same time. Just go where it feels like you can get some nice, good work, and the work makes sense and it feels solid and strong. Calf raise, front shoulder raise. We got 1 minute on the clock, slow and steady here. All of our work on our repeater today is all about just putting some good strength into our body. When we do efforted work, especially let's say that front shoulder raise, try not to let your hips push the weights up and try to use your exhale for your effort. All right, that's time. Switch back to your heavy weights, and we're taking it right into just a standard deadlift. So with those weights in front of you, push your butt back, nice long spine, push down into your heels, come up, squeeze your glutes. Inhale as you come forward. Exhale as you come back up. And then if you want just a little bit of upper body work at the top, you're going to row it up to your chin, lower it down, and then back to your deadlift. Five seconds left. All right, that's time. Stick with those heavy weights, but now it's going to be a sumo squat position with a hammer curl. So for hammer curl, we keep the palms facing in the whole entire time. So go for that nice wide stance, lower down. I like the hammer curl at the bottom, but you go where it feels good. Find that just that pace and that coordination of work that makes good sense to you. Squat down, hammer curl, or come up and hammer curl. Or if you're like, I want my upper body to be as strong as it can possibly be, maybe you do a little bit of both. No right or wrong. Nice job. All right, that's time. Put those heavy weights down, switch back to your light weights. Now we're going to put our feet in that pizza slice position. So heels together, toes turned out, calf raise, and then you're going to go for that arms at a 45-degree, lifting out to that 45-degree position. So there's that little tiny tilt of rotation of the arms, and we lift up at that 45-degree. So pizza slice your feet, take it into a calf raise, and then add that 45-degree raise. Nice. All right, that's time. Switch back to your heavy weights. Now we're going to take it into a staggered stance deadlift. We're going to do 30 seconds one side, 30 seconds the other. So stagger your stance. That back foot's just your kickstand. Most of your weight's going to try to stay in that front leg, front foot, butt back, heart comes forward. We keep that nice long spine for that staggered stance deadlift. We got 30 seconds with this foot forward. use the heaviest weights you've got. Keep that nice long spine. So your head follows the movement of your spine. You've got it. Check in though, how's your breath? Are you breathing in and out through your nose? Nice, slow, purposeful breaths. Inhaling as you come forward and down, exhaling as you come up. All right, switch your feet, kickstand with that back foot, and right back to work. Hinge forward, come back up. All right, that's time. Take a second, come on up. Now, last set of our squats, we're gonna hold a squat. So you're gonna just go for maybe a wide squat position, but for this one, we're gonna keep our arms at that 90-degree bend, and then it's just gonna stay holding your squat and alternating that mid-range bicep curl. So we're not going full range of motion. We're keeping the elbows nice and chambered. One comes up a couple inches, one goes down a couple inches. 1 minute on the clock. Hold that squat, stay nice and sturdy in your legs. Yes, nice work. You're already halfway there. Three seconds left. And time, nicely done. All right, come up nice and slow. Set those hand weights down, take a second. Now we're gonna do that thing where either you're gonna roll up your mat, you're gonna lay your towel down, and what we want, and I've got my blanket conveniently on my mat. So you're just gonna find just a little bit of roll, whether it's just the end of your mat, and then you're gonna be in a heel toe stance. So we're going to start here and see how that feels, because sometimes balance is, you know what balance is, right? So you're going to see if you can just hold and maintain a little balance in this position. And then if you can, you're going to take your arms up and down. And then if that feels good, you might add a load. And then if that feels really good in the down position or in the up position, whatever feels like the most challenging to you, you're going to see if you can add a little bit of a calf raise. It's a little bit more playful this round. So think we got 1 minute with one, or 30 seconds with one foot forward, 30 seconds with the other. My balance is definitely pretty wiggly today. So I'm going to leave my weights off and just look for those little challenging parts. Lift the arms, lower the arms, maybe add a calf raise if it feels available. Nice job. All right, when you're ready, switch your feet. Take a second to stabilize, and it doesn't have to be toes touching the heel. We just want that nice tightrope stance. Get yourself stable best you can, and then add all the challenges that seem appropriate. So for some of us, just standing still is going to feel like just enough. Some of us, just adding the arms up and down is going to feel like just enough. And then for some of us, once we feel a little bit more sturdy, a little bit more stable, then adding that little challenging calf raise is going to do the trick. All right, go for one more calf raise on this side if you can. And time, nicely done. All right, take a second, shake, shake, shake it out. Now we're working our way down to the ground. So if you've got your roll already rolled up, leave it there because we're going to put our feet on for that hip bridge. So keep your roll if you can, and you'll just put your feet right onto the roll. And I'm saying all that, just making sure we covered all of the, Come back up, come back up. Don't listen to me. My notes, me and my notes. We still got 1 more minute of work in that standing position. So you're going to grab your heavy weights. You're going to tip forward into that 45-degree lean. You're going to tip forward just enough so you feel a little bit of the weight shifted into the toes and the balls of the feet. You're going to keep that weight nice and close to your heart. You're going to keep your spine nice and long, and you're holding here nice and steady. Sorry, I made you get down and then come back up. The whole time you're here, if you feel like your back gets a little bit mischievous, keep reaching up through the top of your head as if somebody's got you by the slinky spine. Grab the crown of your head and the tailbone, and it's lengthening the whole time. Nice job. 10 seconds left. You got this. Man, you guys look amazing. Nice and sturdy. Beautiful work. All right, bend your knees, push down strong into your feet, come up slow and controlled. Now we're working our way down to the ground. All right, so the first minute that we're going to be doing is that new glute bridge where we have a little bit of a roll underneath our feet. So whether it's your mat, you roll up a little bit, or if you've got your towel nearby, we're just going to put our feet in that slightly elevated position so there's challenge underneath our feet. Feet about hip width distance or shoulder width distance. Go for the width that feels good. You're going to lift your butt up so that you could slide one flat palm underneath your butt. That's your starting position. You won't let the butt touch the ground for the whole minute. You're going to exhale, lift your butt up nice and high. Inhale and lower just to that start position where you could slide one flat palm underneath your butt. Once you've got your start position, here we go. Exhale as you lift your butt up. Inhale as you lower down. Ten seconds left. All right, that's time. Lower your butt all the way down, roll onto one side. So in this repeater work, the second minute, the side leg lift, we're going to be 30 seconds one side, 30 seconds the other, and that's the only one that stays the same the whole entire time. So how high or low you go with the upper body, make sure it's just nice and stable, and that top leg is doing the lift. We got 30 seconds on one side, and then we'll quickly flip it around to the other side. So you'll spin yourself around to the position that makes the most sense to you because it's just a fast transition. All right, when you're ready, flip yourself to the other side. I'm spinning myself around, so I'm facing out to you. You flip yourself around in a way that makes good sense. Come into your side lying position, and then that top leg is lifting up and down. Ten seconds left. All right, that's time. Flip it onto your back, and now we're taking it into a reverse crunch. So for our reverse crunch today, just think knees to the shoulders. So you're just going to drive those knees up, get a little bit of a lift of your tailbone, and then come back to your start position. We got 1 minute on the clock, and I'll say use your exhale for the rest. Exhale as you pull those knees up. Inhale as you release. And time. Nicely done. All right, next up, we're going into long lever hip bridge position. So now you're going to set your feet down and then walk them out away from you. So there's a bit of space between your heels and your butt. Lift your toes and the balls of the feet. So heels connected to the ground, feet are in a slight dorsiflex position. And then away we go. Exhale, push into your heels. Lift your butt up as high as it will comfortably go. Inhale as you lower down. That's the work. You can add a load to the front of your hips if you want to, but for me, I get plenty of good work in my hamstrings here, so I feel like I can leave the weight off. Still want that good breath coordination though. We want that exhale as we lift up and inhale as we lower down. That helps support that good coordination between diaphragm under the rib cage and the pelvic floor diaphragm. So we want those two sets of diaphragms working in good coordination with each other. So we exhale as we lift and we inhale as we lower. And time. Beautiful job. Okay, we're rolling back onto our side, back to those 30 seconds of side leg lifts. So roll onto one side, low position or high position. That's going to be what feels stable to your upper body. And then once you've got a nice stable sideline position, top leg is lifting up and down, 30 seconds on this side. All right, when you're ready, flip it around to the other side, spin yourself around in whatever way makes good sense. Stabilize that upper body in your lying position, and the top leg is doing the work, lifting up and down. Ten seconds left. All right, that's time. Flip it back onto your back. Now back to some core work. We're taking into alternating toe taps. So on your back, reverse table position, arms wherever you want them to be. So they can be up in front of your chest for a little bit more challenge, or you can keep them down in the ground for a bit more stability. No right or wrong, you choose your own adventure, but you want to think about moving your thigh away from your chest. So we keep the leg in a 90-degree bend, we reach it away, touch the ground, and we come back up with good control. This one's one of those ones. For some of us, it'll feel great to press the low back down. For some of us, it'll feel a little bit more normal to keep the natural curve of your back. And then for some of us, you'll feel just a little bit stronger to have a slight curled up position. Always pick the one that feels good to your back. All right, that's time. Now our last set through. Back to our bridges, but this time we're going to go butterfly hip bridge. So you're going to go soles of the feet together, knees out to the left and to the right. We press into the blade edge of our foot and lift our butt up. I like to remind that just because I offer something doesn't mean it's necessarily the shape that's great for you. So if a more traditional bridge with the knees pointing up towards the ceiling feels better to your body for whatever reason, pick the one that feels the best and helps you feel really nice and strong. If butterfly feels interesting, elbows on the ground or arms up for that bigger challenge, but away we go. We got 1 minute on the clock. You're going to exhale as you lift your butt up, get a little squeeze in those butt muscles. Inhale as you lower with good control. This one position is just one of those ones that, because we're asking for a little bit more stability from the foot and the ankle, if you've got any foot and ankle stuff that you're kind of rehabbing from, this might feel like you only want 30 seconds and then you want to switch it over to a more traditional shape. So always make adjustments so that it feels really good to your body. You feel safe, you feel strong, you feel confident. You got 2 seconds left. All right, that's time. Flip it over onto your side. Last minute of work on those side leg lifts. Come to that low lying position or whatever position feels good, where the upper body feels nice and stable. 30 seconds on this side. All right, when you're ready, flip it around, take it to the other side. Get yourself nice and steady on the other side. And then when you're ready, 30 seconds of work. Three seconds left. And time. Nicely done. All right, flip back onto your back. It's our last minute of core work. We're taking it back to our dead bug position. So knees in that reverse table, arms in front of your chest. Now we're going to go alternating dead bug. So opposite arm, opposite leg are going to stretch out, come back in with good control, and switch to the other side. Much like those alternating toe taps, some of us will feel really good just to keep that natural curve of the spine. Some of us will feel just a little bit more structured and controlled by pressing the belly button down towards the spine. And then some of us will feel better to have just that slight curled up position. So go for the one that makes you feel nice and strong. Ten seconds left. All right, that's time. Bring your right knee into your chest. Let your left leg go nice and long. Take that right knee and draw it in a couple of circles. Circle in one direction. Take that knee and draw it in a couple of circles going the other way. All right, now for some of us, knee lifted supine twist is going to feel real good. And then for some of us, just tucking that right toe behind your left knee pit and then rolling open into a little spinal twist. Pick one, see how it feels, and then adjust if it feels like it's not a good one for you. Switch to the other. So go into a nice spinal twist and then hang out there for a second. Take a nice big breath. All right, roll back onto your back and we're switching sides. Right leg is going to go nice and long. Left knee is going to come into your chest. Take your left knee, draw it in a couple circles, circle in one direction. Draw those knee circles the other way. All right, now we're twisting to the other side. So for some of us, knee stays up to the chest and we roll it across. That kind of gets out of the way of the sciatic nerve. For some of us, tucking the toe behind the knee pit and then rolling the knee into twist is going to feel really good. So go for the one on this side that feels good. And then once you've got a nice little spinal twist, take a few nice big breaths. All right, when you're ready, rolling back onto your back, and then just use your body, use your arms, use your elbows, prop yourself up to a seated position, scoot your butt back, send your legs out in front of you nice and long, take a nice big breath, reach everything up and over, but keep a really good bend in the knees. And as you exhale, reach towards your feet. Doesn't matter if you can touch your feet, we just reach towards them and hang out there for a second. Think stretch of the low back, nice big breath into the low back. Take one more breath. All right, and then walk it on up, walk it on in, bring those knees in. So you get a little bent knee position, 3 little cat cows just to move the spine a little bit. Inhale, lift your chest, lift your chin. Exhale, round your back. Inhale, lift your chest, lift your chin. Exhale, round your back. One more just like that. Inhale, lift your chest, lift your chin. Exhale, round your back. And now we're coming on up, grabbing your foam roller because we're going to start our foam roller in standing position. And we don't need our hand weights anymore, so you can clear those out of the way if you want to. And if you're not sticking around, but you're going to be seeing Santa this weekend, make sure you tell him you've been very good this year because you guys are amazing and you show up all the time for yourselves. So tell him you need some extra heavier hand weights because you've been so good this year. I'll see you for the next half hour. All right. Once you've come up to standing, grab your foam roller. We're just going to start with that sideways hold with a little bit of a twist. One more little twist from side to side, and that's going to be that little hay baler maneuver. So think to the left hip, toss it over your right shoulder. All right, one more on this side, and then come back to your little twist, twist. All right, and then the next time you're at that right hip, go right hip over the left shoulder. Nice. One more toss over that shoulder. And then we're going to set the foam roller down to tall setting. So you're going to place it down on the ground and we're going to start with just stretching our digits for a second. So go thumbs onto the roller and then press gently down so you feel that little stretch into the web of your thumb and take a nice big breath. Lift off, go index fingers on, gently press down so you feel a stretch down into the finger, down into the palm. Lift off, go middle fingers on, gently press down. Lift off, go ring fingers on, gently press down. Lift off, go pinky fingers on and gently press down. One more breath. All right, release your fingers, give them a quick little twinkle, shake them out, get just a little bit of blood flow back into the hands. And then we're going to go a little down dog, one arm with the other arm doing a little pendulum swing. And then how far you stretch out into that down dog, it doesn't have to be far. We just want a little bit of forward lean of the body and a little bit of room for that arm to swing. So to start, if you don't want to totally down dog stretch it, just find a little bit of space between you and the roller. And then swing that arm a little forward and back and let it go for that nice loose shoulder girdle. So it's just finding its own momentum once it starts to go. All right, then see if you can find a little side to side swing. Same thing here. Don't force it, just let it have sort of its own little momentum. Let it be as loose and soft as it can be. All right, one more side to side, and then just let it swing in a dangly circle. And then let it swing in a dangly circle, go in the other way. All right, one more swing and dangly circle, and we're going to pass the foam roller over to the other hand. So pass it over, get that hand that you were just working on to find a little resting position, and then the other arm's going to find that dangle and swing, just a little forward and back. Just an FYI, if you ever have shoulder mischief and some of those days when the front shoulder raise or arms above the head feel like it's an impossible task, if I say, oh, we're doing some shoulder raises today, no, you're not. You're going to do this. You're just going to do this loose pendulum swing, and that's going to be the work. Just forever going forward if ever your shoulder is giving you grief. All right, take it into that side to side momentum. All right, and then take it into some nice loose circles going in one direction. And then take it into some nice loose circles going the other way. One more circle around. And then if you feel ready for it, come to the middle with that foam roller, both hands to the roller, and now walk it back to a little bit more of that length in the arms, length in the upper body, just where it feels good. You're not forcing it. You're just finding a space where you go, oh, that's a nice stretch. You can feel it through the back line of your body. Take a nice big breath. All right, soften your knees, walk forward. We're going to flip our roller so that it can come right on top of our shoelaces. So flip it, bring it down, and then press into the shoelaces and just a slight roll up and down. All right, now you're going to press into the shoelaces with as much oomph as you can find, and then you're going to lift and lower your toes. One more good lift and lower of the toes, and then roll the foam roller off of your feet. Slow roll your way back up to a standing position. Put one foot onto the roller, middle of the foot, and then just give like 5 good bug squishes just to get a little bit of heat into the bottom of the foot, a little bit of increased blood flow. And then once you've done just a couple of good bug squishes on that foot, switch it over to the other foot, center of the foot on, little forward body weight, bug squish. Nice. One more little bug squish there. And then when you're ready, we're going to come down. We're going into that prone position with the foam roller underneath our upper arms. So we're going to come down onto the belly, get that foam roller out in front of you. Get it underneath your arms and then just hang out there for a second and notice. Take a nice big breath. Notice your belly on the ground. Notice the front of your hips. Notice your knees. Notice your shoelaces, tops of your toes. And then because I didn't throw back extensions into our mix in the first line of work, we got to do a couple of back extensions here. So you're going to press down into the roller, pull the roller toward you, lift your back, feel that strength in your back, hold at the top for a moment, and then slow release it forward, nice and slow and controlled. Press down into the roller, pull the roller toward you, lift your back, hold at the top for a moment, and then lower with good control. Beautiful. Lifting upward, press into the roller, pull it toward you, lift your heart, hold at the top for a moment. Lower with good control. 2 more to go if you can. You always have the options to rest. If your back creates mischief here, take the time, give your nervous system that time that it needs to recoup and recover. All right, one more time. Press into the roller, lift up. Lower with good control. Nice job. All right, take that roller, spin it a little offsides, get it underneath your armpit, and then lean into the armpit just as much as you can and take 3 shoulder rotations. We're not going to stay here too long. We're just moving a little bit of lymph out of those armpit channels. So we've got it squished right up against the armpit, and then just rotate your arm. Fist up towards the ceiling, fist down towards the ground. Go for one more here if you can. All right, now we're going to pass it over to the other side. So just at a slight angle, stuff that roller up into your armpit, get that 90-degree bend of your arm, and then take a couple of good shoulder rotations here. Then to tell you where we're going to go next, we're going to go into prone position, but the roller is going to be underneath our sternum and underneath that front pubic bone. So we're just going to make sure that that feels like a comfortable position. If you're really tender in any of those places, perhaps a towel or a blanket on the roller just to offer a little bit of cushioning might be nice. All right, take one more shoulder rotation. And then when you're ready, push yourself up to tabletop position. Get the roller so it comes into the space down that center line. And then you'll slowly come on down. So you're going to go pubic bone, sternum onto the roller. And then the upper body's a little bit like it's in a semi-sphinx position. So you want those elbows and forearms to the ground. Once you've got your way here, you're just going to take a moment to assess, because for some of us, having those arms on the ground is just going to give us that good support. Some of us might want to come a little bit lower and a little bit softer. And then me, for my personal favorite, if you wear glasses, you'll take them off and you'll take your index, middle, ring finger and rest the under arch of your brow into your fingers. So now we're hitting 4 bony points all at once, or excuse me. Yeah, 4. I can't even count. So we've got pubic bone, sternum, and the brow points. And you're just going to let your head rest into your hands. You're going to let your hips rest over the roller. You're going to let your heart soften over the roller, and how wide you walk your elbows so you can get a little bit of everything touching down and putting a little body weight on. And then once you've got your way there, take 5 nice, slow, deep, intentional breaths. If you've got your fingers under your eyebrow, soften up that firmness under your eyebrow. Give your eyebrows just a soft little gentle wiggle. And then once you've wiggled your eyebrows just enough, if you took your glasses off, take a second to put those back on. And then just a tiny touch of a rock from side to side, just to kind of wake up that center line, wake up the sternum, wake up the pubic bone, make sure everything feels like it's a little bit, got an increased blood flow, maybe a slight sense of warmth in that area. And then once you've rocked it and moved it just enough, we're going to move slightly offside. So we're going to go into that deep inner thigh line where we get into the groin a little bit. So it's not a big shift, but we do kind of just shift off the roller a little bit. And then you hike it up into that inner thigh where it feels good to you. So everybody will probably look a little bit different, or the pressure point that you can stand might look a little bit different. So for me, I kind of hike my leg up, get into that groin inner thigh point, and then I let my legs soften just a little bit. And once you're there, take 3 nice big breaths. Soften everything that you can. Relax your glutes, relax your inner thigh, relax all the thigh muscle that you can possibly stand, and then take a big breath, but breathe like you're trying to breathe down into the front pocket of your jeans. Now, for some of us, this will be a very tender point, so movement might not feel like the most fun thing to do, but if just that tiniest little wiggle, and for me, what I'm doing is I'm kind of pushing into my elbows to create the movement. So like a little rhythm, a tiny little rhythm, using your arms or your low leg to help support and find a little bit of a rocking motion. Give it one more moment if that little bit of wiggly movement feels good, because the fascia does like a little bit of vibration. It likes rhythm. It likes slow, rhythmic, soft movement. So one more moment to just kind of wiggle into the fascia. And then when you're ready, we're going to work it on over to the other side. So you're just going to reposition, for me, I hike my leg up, I kind of find that hip crease, and then I move my leg back down just a touch. And then once you've got the other side, and one side might feel very different from the other. So don't look for it feeling symmetrical, look for it feeling like a good point to be on. And then once you've got a good point to be on, just take a second, let everything soften and settle. Breathe like you're trying to just take some big intentional breaths down into the front pocket of your jeans. All right, now same thing on this side. If that tiny little micro movement would feel good, you'll use your elbows and forearms or that low lying leg to create that gentle rocking motion. But if you get there and the rocking motion on this side doesn't feel good, you're going to leave it off and just make sure that you're breathing slowly. You've got some good quality breaths coming in, no pain points, and you're not gritting your teeth. All right, take one more rocking motion if you're taking it into that soft and gentle rock. And then slowly and mindfully, you're going to bring yourself up to tabletop position. And then once you've got your tabletop position, just for a moment, you're going to just do a little bit of a rocking motion with your table as if you're trying to bring the side of your butt towards the ground. So just rock your hips from side to side. Take the time to bring a little bit of soothing glossiness back into the hips, back into the inner thighs. One more rock of those hips from side to side, and then we're just going to spin it around. So hop one leg up and over, spin your foam roller around, and then we're going to go right into low back side body. So think about like that upper portion of your butt, and then that off sides part of the low back is what we're going to try to hit. So you're going to get onto one side, hike your low back up onto it, hang out there for just a second, notice how it feels. And then if it feels available, you're going to take some nice good rolls, but we want the legs to help support this one and the upper arm to support it because it's just in that sort of unsupported bony structure. All right, now come into that soft side tissue, let your butt settle down, and then take 3 rocks forward and back, like you're just trying to roll the belly onto the roller, and then roll that low back side body onto the roller. Roll belly onto the roller, low back side body, belly, low back side body, and then we're going to flip that work to the other side. I'm going to flip myself around so I'm facing out to you. You spin yourself around in a way that makes good sense, but we're hiking it up just enough so that we can get that low backside body onto the roller, and then use your arms and use your legs to find a little roll. Great. Take one more roll up and down, and then soften onto that soft tissue in the side of the body. And then we're taking that forward and back roll. So you're going to roll forward like you're bringing your belly onto the roller, and then roll back onto that low back. Roll forward belly, roll to the back, roll to the belly, roll to the back. All right, now we're going to flip the roller around so we can hit the upper body real quick, upper back body. So set your roller up so we can get into that shoulder blade area. And we're going to just do like some nice big lengthy rolls just to kind of get that whole upper back body going on. So hands behind the head to give a little support, and take some nice big generous rolls. Go down bottom of the rib cage, tops of the shoulders. take one or two more good lengthy rolls. And then once you've done just enough of that rolling up the upper back, we're going to just let the butt settle down, move the roller in so that we can pop our butt right up onto the roller. And then we don't normally do this, but every once in a while it's okay because we don't normally do it. We're going to take just a gentle roll of the IT band. So you're going to roll off to one side, but you're going to let your legs and your arms support. So you don't have to put a lot of body weight onto it, but we're just going to roll across the side of the thigh. So you let your arms help support you so you don't have to like oomph into it. And we're just going to give it a nice gentle roll. All right, one more good roll up and down, and then now we're going to stay in the glute. So now you're going to get so that the side of your butt is onto the roller, and then hang out there for a second, and then add a little bit of a light butterfly flap of that low leg. One more little light butterfly flap, and then you're just going to adjust and shift slightly so you get the whole IT band onto the side of the roller, and then your hands are going to come into your inner thigh, and you're going to push into the inner thigh like you're just trying to smush the whole side of your thigh into the roller. Give it a good push and smush and take a nice big breath. All right, now we're going to release nice and slow and roll ourselves over to the other side. Soft roll in that IT band on the other side. So let your legs support you, let your arms support you, and we're rolling the side of the thigh. But if you've got tender IT bands or it tends towards that tightness, sometimes less is more. So though it might feel like it would be ideal to like oomph into it and just grind it down, I think you stay a little bit more on the surface of it and let the fascia do its own work. So you soothe it with this gentle conversation. It'll send the conversation back up to the brain, and then it will reduce the tightness because it knows it's safe and you're not going to kind of push into it and grind against it too much. All right, take one more good roll up and down, and then find that side of the glute, hang out there for a second. And then if it feels good on that side of the glute, that low leg is doing that half butterfly flap. One more half butterfly flap. And then when you're ready, pivot just so that you get the side of the thighs flush up against the roller. Use your hand, push into your inner thigh and just smush down just enough so you feel like you're just kind of putting a nice sense of compression, and then take some slow, deep, intentional breaths. One more breath. All right, and then release, come into just that seated position, and then we're just going to take some quick rolls from glute to glute. So you're just going to roll over to the right and then roll over to the left. And when I say quick, I mean in the interest of time, not how fast you should roll across your roll across your own butt muscles. How fast you go here is going to be just what feels safe, what feels good. Awesome. Take one more roll from side to side, and then we're going to flip the foam roller so that we can go into long spine position. So come off in any way that makes good sense. Spin that roller around, get your tailbone on one end, get your head on the other end. Take the time to find your way onto it, and then find that good support. So we want that tailbone butt supported, that head is nice and supported. And then once you found your way there, open your arms into that nice T position. Let the backs of your hands touch the ground and let your armpit chest open up just a little bit. Walk your feet out just to a nice width where your arms are free to move. Once you feel like your legs give you a bit of support, fingertips to the shoulders. Draw some nice, generous elbow circles. Circle in one direction. Circle the other way. All right, now we're going to take our arms and go for a swim. So one arm is going to go up, one arm is going to come down, and we're going to touch whatever ground we feel like is available in the up and down position, and then we switch. One arm up, one arm down, and we're just taking it for a nice fluid motion. So take one arm up and then switch it to the other side. One more up and down, and then hands are going to meet in the middle in front of the chest. And then once you've got your way there, imagine you're holding onto a ball between your hands and you're spinning the ball in circles, but you're holding that space between your palms. So you're just drawing these circles with this imaginary ball go in one direction. Now draw the circles with the imaginary ball going the other way. All right, one more circle around and the arms open out nice and wide. Give yourself a hug. One arm on top, one arm on bottom. Squeeze nice and tight. Take a big breath into the squeeze of your arms. On your next in-breath, open your arms nice and wide, but the other arm is going to come on top. So open them out, stretch it out, and then bring the other arm in. Give yourself a hug. Squeeze your arms around you. Take a big breath into the squeeze of your arms. On your next in-breath, open your arms out nice and wide. And then with your arms out nice and wide, just roll your shoulders. So your arms are going to stay as wide as they can. They can come a little bit lower, more A-frame. They can come a little higher or whatever position feels good. But all you want to do is shrug and roll your shoulders here. Whatever position the arms will allow that to happen. All right, take one more good shrug and roll of those shoulders and then let everything come to stillness for a second. Just take a nice big breath. Slow roll your way off one side. Take your time as you mindfully come off of your roller. Take your time as you come off, and then leaving your roller down on the ground. We're going to come up to a soft standing forward fold. So bring yourself up in whatever way makes good sense so that you can just keep a good bend in your knees. Hands towards the toes. Does not ever matter to me if you can touch your toes. We just reach towards them. Notice how the back of your body feels. Shoulder blades, upper back body, backs of the legs. Take a nice big breath. All right, and then bend your knees a lot, pull your abdominal muscles in, roll your way up to standing, and then as you come up, give everything a last little bounce and a jiggle. Just move that lymphatic system back into a little bit of liveliness, and then you are done. Be sure to drink plenty of water after doing all that work.